this morning I'm working on this very nice SD40. I also got a new camera, so the picture should be just a little bit better. So this little guy right here is actually a custom paint that somebody did, but they did a really good job, so I don't think I'm going to be changing any of this. Very nice. But I'm still going to want to have a look inside and see if I can improve some things. So I'm going to start with the shell removal. And I'll try the other side. And it's that easy. Wow, everything looks like what it should. Everything seems to be in the right place. That's a good sign. Definitely. So I'll just take the gas tank off. Keep your stuff organized. Take the headlights. Shield is off. The headlights are off. It's one of the older models. It's got a blue box, but these guys run really well and everything's set up properly. So I'll just loosen it a little bit, just enough to get the trucks out. And these trucks have an arrow also, so that makes it easy. So I loosen the two screws so I can get the trucks out. And then I can go all the way and remove the top half of the shell. I think these are meant to be easy to work on. What that means to you is if you need to get in there and lubricate something every once in a while, it's easy to do it. There, just use gravity as my friend. Pop these little things out. The contact strips, if they fall out, that's okay, we'll put them back later. I'm going to get help from my screwdriver. You don't have to be rough on these, but sometimes it's okay to get a little help. So everything looks good. I'm still going to give it just a little bit of lubrication. Yeah, there's hardly anything to do on this. So let's do some lubrication. Label 108 is what I like to use. So I'll just put 2 drops. 1 drop on each side. And that's it. That's all you need. What I'll be spending most of my time on is on the trucks, because this is what contacts the truck, and it's also what makes it possible to have good reliable operation. Don't you hate that when your locomotive stalls and you have to nudge it with your finger? I hate that. So these actually, this is why you pay the extra money to get a Kato, is because they have really good electrical pickup. So it's worth keeping them clean. So you keep these clean, you never have any stalls. So the side frames are pretty rugged, but you still want to take your time taking them out. So I'm going to be cleaning the side frames with my soap and water. And then remove the contact strips. These look pretty clean. I'll just re-clean the wheels. The gears are also very clean. The gear carrier goes under the soap and water too. But the wheels I'll be cleaning with my, oh, there's a little thing there. A little bit of dust there, so that's gonna have to go. That's definitely gonna help. The other side looks like it's got a little bit too. That's nothing major. It wouldn't stop your locomotive, but obviously it will run better without them. Also, you can see some of the plating is worn on the wheels. That is nothing major. That will also not prevent the locomotive from running. It's just the nickel silver plating and conducts electricity better than the actual metal that the wheels are made out of. The wheels are made out of brass, which will conduct electricity just fine. It's just as it oxidates, the brass oxide will not conduct electricity, whereas the nickel silver oxide will. So once I've got the ends clean, then I can move on to the area that contacts the track, and then I'll just clean that with my rag. Once I'm happy with everything, I'm going to start putting it back together. Well, it was pretty clean to begin with, but a little soap and water never hurts. So I'm going to start putting everything back together now. So the wheels, they're interchangeable. So I like to start with the middle, and you can roll them to make sure they're in the right place. And then I'll put my contact strips. They have pins here that will put them in the correct spot. Make sure that the little cone is in the end caps. That acts as a contact point, but it also acts as a bearing. So this will make sure that everything's running right. Little piece of flint there. That's gotta go. There. Now that I have it where I want it, I'll do the other side. You have to make sure 100% that it's in its little correct place. And then once you're happy, you could put the side frames back on. This will click into place. And once it's in the place, you can roll it with your finger. Make sure there's absolutely zero rolling resistance. This is what makes the Kato locomotive be so smooth. It's the trucks. That's the secret. So I'll do the other side off camera. Alright, now this project is coming along. So I'm going to take the bottom half of my frame, and I'm going to take the top half of the frame. Now these little pins here, these pins hold the two frame halves together, and this contacts the side. So I will reunite them. Whoops. This is going to go much better like this. Don't forget, I have my insulators here. I have both of them. You need them. If you lose them, there's still replacement parts available for that. Unfortunately, the trucks are not available. So sometimes you get one with a broken truck. For this unit, I was lucky. Everything's perfect. No need for replacement parts. And then I'll just put the screws, but I just start them. I don't put them all the way. So I'll just make sure to start them nice and easy. That's all you need, just a couple turns. So then my frame still moves a little bit, and that's going to allow me to put my trucks in. So the arrow goes on the outside like this. Then I'll do the other side. The arrow goes on the outside. So now that the trucks are in, then I can tighten my screws. I'm going to use gravity as my friend to make sure they don't fall out. You don't have to tighten these very hard, just hand tight. There. Now I'll put my contact strips. Now these, you don't need to spend a lot of time cleaning them. Just run your hand over them like that, and that will be enough. So these, they go over, under this pin. I'll take my screwdriver. They go under this pin and over this pin. Very important that you line them up properly before you put your gas tank, because the gas tank will hold them into place. This one looks good. Let's do the other one. Just run my hand over it to make sure there's no lint on it. I'll do the same thing. Put it over and under. And check the other side. Has to be under this one and over the other one. There. So as you put your gas tank, you have to look at both sides at once to make sure that everything's all right. Yeah, it looks pretty good. This is the front of the engine here with the short hood being low, the low short hood. And the gas tank also has a front. It's where the oil fill cap is. So people paint these red. It looks pretty good actually if you do it. It's not super important to me. I prefer to have the engine looking like it did when it was new. I used to buy my engines new, so I wanted them to look old before. Now I buy them used, so I want them to look new. And then once you got everything where you want it, the gas tank will just snap in. And then that's it. Looks pretty good to me. So now I can put my two light boards back in, the back one and the front one, and then the light shield, and I'll test it on my bench. So testing it on the bench, it allows me to see that everything's where it should be, and the lights light up. I can test all this stuff at once. I'm actually gonna do one thing on my shell. It's the safety rails. Now the other guy did the safety rails. They look pretty good, but I prefer to leave the safety rails black. You can see there it flaked off a little bit. The reason for that is that to make the handrails look bigger than they actually are. So I'm going to take the shell apart. Take the shell apart, You have these two little pins here you have to push. It's already got it's got a micro train in the front and a rapido in the back, so that's a little bit strange. So I'll probably be swapping this out so they're both the same. So I just push this in very gently. That will open up the back of the shell. The front of the shell is a little bit trickier, so I start at the back. There, now the back is loose. You have to take your time with these. I like these, they hold the shell together well. If you should break one, the engine will still look okay. It's just that it's not going to be as sturdy when it comes to that part. So I'll finish this off camera. So the back of it is loose. I'm going to do the same thing to the front. There's two little pins here, but mainly it's held by the cab windows, which are here. So as I work on these, I'll make sure that I have in mind the cab windows. So also you have to take the handrails out. Very important. They're pretty sturdy, but you still have to keep this in mind. Also note that on the real engine the handrails were painted blue, but I'm keeping them black so it can match my other Kato units. As I said before, I'd like them to look as close as possible to the new unit. So I'll be wanting to keep the handrails as close as possible to what they were when they were new. So you push down on the window. The window holds the cab down. And then this will release the shell. Oh, we're in good shape now. Very good shape. You have to also look at both sides at once. So take your time. You have to make sure your handrails don't pop back in their place there. And that's it. So now the cap comes off. So you can clean that, and you can clean this also. And then the handrails, they will also pop out. All you need to do is put your screwdriver under the first step. That will unjam it. So the paint that the custom painter used is actually a good quality paint. I have nothing bad to say about it. But the handrails are infinitely more flexible than the paint. What ends up happening invariably as you handle the engine, the paint will just flake off because the handrails are so flexible. And like I said, it's not bad. If I liked it, I would just redo it and then handle the engine carefully. But for my needs, I prefer to have them black. So there, the paint just comes off very easily. So I'll do the rest off camera. Now that everything's taken apart and clean, I'm gonna work on the coupler. So the front one's okay. but the rear one is going to be swapped out for a Rapido. So all you need to do is come to the back here and remove it gently. Then this little guy just pulls out. I'm going to remove the spring from here, this little thing here. Let me focus that for you. Just remove this little pin here. And then I can use this as a retainer for my micro trains. There's my micro trains. And it goes right into the little box. Nice and easy. And I put my retainer back in. And scale invariably, you're going to be working with small parts. All part of the fun and games. It'll snap in here. Get a little help from my screwdriver. There. That looks very good. So I'm going to put everything back together. And I'll put this part of the shell. There's four little, don't remember the four little pins? So they go back at this stage. Nice and easy. And then I'll slide my cab back in there. So make sure to move your handrails out. You have to just about look at both sides at the same time to make sure that they don't go back in. So there's one side, the other side, and the bottom of the windows will also hold the cab together, so they'll snap in there. Then you put your handrails where they go. And that's it. My shell's ready to go. Now before I put it back on the drive, I'm going to go try the drive on the track just to make sure everything's working well. So let's see how it runs. That's pretty good. And backward. Fantastic. So now all I gotta do is put my shell back on. That should go back real nice and easy. There we go. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon. Well, I'm moving to a new channel. It's called Watch Trains Now. I'm gonna put a link in the description below. You can come and find me there. I'm gonna be doing the same kind of videos, just more of them. In fact, you can see this very video with 1080p. So come and have a look, and we'll see you soon.